News about RoseAnne Archibald's ouster from the Assembly of First Nations continues to reverberate across the country. Judith Sayers is the president of the Nuu-chah-nulth Tribal Council, an organization that represents 14 First Nations on Vancouver Island. She was acting as a proxy on Wednesday's AFN meeting. She joins me now. President Sayers, thanks for being with us. You were part of the meeting. Can you tell us, I guess, your reaction to the national chief being ousted from her position?
Well, it wasn't anything I took great pleasure in, but I think it was a necessary move by the chiefs in Assembly.
Why do you feel it was necessary?
Well, the issues have been going on for a long time. Last July, when we passed a motion to retain RoseAnne as our national chief, but we wanted to have an investigation into the human resources complaints, so then we'd know the full facts. And that investigative report came before the chiefs, and that's when we made the decision, was based on that report.
Now, there is an AGA just less than 2 weeks away, I guess. Any idea on why the vote couldn't wait till then?
I'm not really sure. I think last July we ended up spending 3 days talking about the national chief office, and we never got any business done. I think the motion called for a special meeting of the chiefs to discuss this, and I think then it opens the 3 days in Halifax to get to the issues that we really need to talk about.
You represent 14 First Nations in BC. Were they all unanimous in the decision to remove Archibald from the position?
No, I just had a proxy like everybody else, one vote. And so everybody has their own. So we really didn't have a chance to discuss this before the vote took place.
I'm sure you've seen and heard lots from those who say that this decision was, misogyny played a role in this decision. Now, what would you say about that?
I would say that there might have been a few that might have been misogynistic, but, in most part, I think the leaders were looking at this clearly, professionally, and looking at our future as AFN and what is it that we need to do to ensure that we can continue pursuing our rights and protecting our lands and territories. I think that's where more people were focused, is let's get down to business. We need to do this now.
Archibald was calling for a forensic audit at the AFN. Do you think that should still go ahead?
Yes. And it is contained in a motion, that same motion from last July, that a forensic audit would be looked at by our constitutional committee, and they would bring a recommendation to the chiefs on whether that needed to be done. They are reviewing the Constitution, the policies, and trying to address some of the issues. So that is still on the table. It hasn't been taken off the table, but it still, is a consideration. And I think it should go ahead, and let's put all these allegations to rest, or let's address them. It just depends on what the report says.
What are your hopes for the AFN going forward as a new interim national chief is selected here?
Well, my hope is that, things can settle down and we can do the advocacy that's needed in Ottawa, whether it's fisheries or forestry or climate change, the environment, the economics. There are just so many issues that our communities are facing. The opioid crisis, there's, and I'm sure that's why a lot of chiefs weren't on the line, because, we have such huge issues that we're dealing with, and we need to be having those addressed, in Ottawa, in our provinces, and in our communities. And that's what we need to do, is just get down to work and start addressing these issues.
President Sayers, we'll have to leave it there, but really appreciate you taking some time for us today.
Sure. Thank you.